All right, everyone, welcome back to the Guile treatment. We have Keenan Meadows joining us today.
Well, hello there.
Just won the Atlanta PTC with Mad Perot.
Also, he won the Atlanta Circuit Finals.
That's true, yes, with Yamato Man.
Yep.
So, just cleaning up.
Yeah.
In,
2 plane tickets,
backyard.
kids. 2 plane tickets. Home field
Yeah,
advantage.
I got more plane tickets than I know what to do with right now. It's actually pretty awesome.
So you just need to take a vacation, right? You go to Worlds and then, just do something nice for yourself.
Right. So somebody was talking to me like I should try to go for the Player of the Year thing now that I got a PTC, and I was thinking like maybe if I just use my plane ticket to jump from PTC to PTC, winning every PTC with Mad Perot, because there's nobody who knows how to tank against that deck, and then just continuing like I can just sweep up the Player of the Year award no problem. Because nobody plays cool and focused, and it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, it's
so
totally fine.
This is good. I'm totally interested in this.
Okay, so what we're going to start off with was your Atlanta Circuit win, because I know you didn't get an interview or you didn't really talk about the deck. I think you made a small post on Facebook, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
I know that you got to go first in every game, so did that kind of lead you into the path of I'm just going to zoom everybody on turn 2? With Yamato Man?
I think zooming everybody on turn 2 was something I wanted to do anyways, and I was really trying to look for ways to do that, and Cats obviously is just super broken right now. One of my favorite things to do with Cats, because like Yamato Man Cats is gateway shuffle 22 damage, that seems, that just on paper, that just sounds broken coming out of my mouth.
Yes.
And then on top of that, you get to tap Dust in the Wind, you get to tap any of their anti-speed reset. So like the package came together, and I won't say that I was necessarily driven because I always got to go first, but it certainly didn't hurt that as a 19 vitality character, I was sitting like against my opponent going, if I go second, I'm gonna get blown out by Spike 2 because that wasn't gonna be a problem. So definitely didn't hurt.
Rob, you want to ask him anything about the deck?
Well, actually, it was. So I didn't actually come to the Atlanta PTC. I sort of at the last minute was just like, dude, I just can't.
Rob, you screwed up. You missed it. It was a great time.
I'm sure it was. I mean, Scott came down, so he at least got to represent Maryland.
And then get his ass beat in top 8, but
Hey, I mean, yeah, he got revenge on Tim Keefe and then ran into a buzzsaw that it's life. But I had actually been toying with like a Water Yamato Man because I was like, especially after Vegas, I was like, or I guess I had worked on it and was going to see if it was in Vegas, and then it wasn't, and I was like, oh, cool, and then you won with it. I was like, well, his list is a little tighter than mine, probably better, so, definitely have some work I could do. I got to say, the thing that impressed me the most about your Yamato Man list is the fact that you, got it down to 60 cards.
Oh, yeah.
Building Water right now, I feel like you have a bunch of cards, and you slim it down, and then you go, man, I forgot about this, and this. And then all of a sudden you're just like, all right, this is 80 cards, and I really am trying to play something more aggressive, so I need to cut it back doam. And, there are a lot of really, really tough cuts when you get to about 70, and you just go, what am I doing?
Fuck it, yeah. You just gotta get rid of all those cards. Just throw away your dreams, Robert Schneider, and replace them with winning. That's all you gotta do. So your dreams can leave, your wins can come.
So with Rob saying that, when you get to that 70 mark, and say just a normal deck building in general, I guess I'll ask you, as you're a world champion yourself, you have more cardboard than me and Rob will probably ever have. So
I don't know about that.
When you get to that 70 mark and lower, what deems worthy of a cut that you're looking for? Like, are you looking to go hyper aggressive so you cut all your defense, or do you just kind of, I don't know, if you want to explain that for maybe some of the newer players?
You kind of go for your game plan. So if your game plan is to blow them up as consistently as possible, you got to start cutting some defensive pieces that you might not understand. And honestly, I was talking to Tim Keefe and Shane Duckworth over the weekend. They both attended the Atlanta Pro Tour, and we all I've been having some free time at work, and I've just been kind of sketching deck lists out on my notepad.
Yep.
And if I can think of the card and write it down, it's probably good enough to play. If I forget about the card, maybe it's not as important. Sure, there's going to be a couple outside excuses for that, but I've been able to put 60-card decks on paper a lot easier than I am in Ultra. Because in Ultra, you hit the water symbol, and then you just hit search, and all of a sudden you're going through like, oh, that's 200 cards. I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. I want that one. I want 4 copies of that one. Only 1 copy of this one. But let's see if this one makes the list, because I'd really like to play 3 of that. And then all of a sudden you just hit this 120-card list you can't do anything with.
Yeah.
So I think that like newer players have to use UFS Ultra because it's such a resource. But like people who have done this for a while and understand what the meta is sitting and how that's going, I think that if you just kind of eschew Ultra until it's time to put it in and just like look at graphs and be like, I want to see how my blocks are, et cetera, I think that it actually helps as a deck builder more than I think that it helps to not use it as much. Personally, okay. That's just me though.
So you've really been the only person who's used Gateway Shuffle to a win so far. So, what's your opinion on that card? Is it worth the price tag it's at right now, or should...
No.
Okay.
No. No UFS card is worth that much. I'm sorry. Yeah. UFS is just a little bit overpriced. And this is coming, like, if you consider a pack of UFS is 10 cards, and it's $4 a pack. A pack of Magic is 15 cards, and it's $4 a pack.
Yeah.
So technically, UFS cards already start off more expensive, and then it just kind of gets more and more ridiculous. The more like I think that there's a lot of price gouging going on with Rochester and Legendary Wolf, and I understand you got to make money on your boxes. When your boxes are $80, and you got to like make you open a box, you want to at least open like $100 worth of profit. Otherwise, you're going to be sitting on like this is not reasonable, and it's a hard system because it's a small game. I wish these prices were lower because that Gateway Shuffle card, that thing is maybe $20 at most. And then after that, like, unless you're talking like Prepared to Fight, what else came out in Bebop?
Like, M3C maybe?
M3C maybe.
But that's only in like one deck.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
Like some of these things, like, I think Gateway's good. I just think that it's not showing up right now. It'll come down.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same thing as like Scorch Wheel when it was previewed, was through the roof. Nobody was playing it. It came down. Like, it started winning stuff. It edged back up, and then it got banned.
Yeah.
So, it's sort of just a life cycle. It's still new. It's still the most recent set.
But I don't think Scorch Wheel is going to be... I don't think Gateway Shuffle is going to be at the level of Scorch Wheel ever in its life. So, I mean...
Well, I think it's something where the price... I feel like the hype on that set in before the rest of the set got spoiled, and then it was like,
oh,
dude,
gosh,
I don't even need this card.
Yeah.
So, I think it's still suffering just from that, from like the fact that, the cards, like, there's a bunch of people running actions that are just like Punch and Judy out of your league, stuff like that, and you're just like, I don't really have enough space or even Bang. I mean, Bang goes in so much stuff.
I don't know.
Like, how many actions can I run?
I don't understand how Bang is like $2. Bang's like $2 on most, like, it's a box topper, I know, but if you think about like what was it Blood Runs True or Addy's Syndicate that was a box topper?
Both of them.
Both of them were?
Blood Runs True was a starter box topper.
Okay, yeah.
You had to buy starter sets to get 4 copies of that card. It was awful.
Yeah, so like I don't think it would ever be that much, but at least more than $10, man, because that card's just ridiculous.
But, but you know what card should be $20 and isn't? Is Coffee Samba. Like, I don't know how you screw that pricing up that badly, but like they started putting this thing at $8. There's no going back. It's $8.50 for life.
Yep.
And it taps your opponent's board.
Yes.
Like, I don't know what you want out of your cardboard, but that's the tool that I need to win.
It's totally worth it's
ridiculous.
I played it last night at Locals in my Ava 2 deck because I'm playing her off of Evil, and I asked my guys after the tournament, like, was this as bad as getting distracting destructing? Like DD'd? And they're like, nah, because this is totally fair because I could stop that. There's no way that I don't play out of your league in the deck, so I can't stop a revoke or Reese was playing Jurassic Jungle, so I would give it stun 8, and he'd be like, well, I'll seal it. And I just go like that Michael Jordan tear would just go down my face, So yeah, until I got 2 Space Lands out, and then he was wrecked as Slash Man, and then he couldn't do anything.
Yeah, he can't do anything as Slash Man. That's a really bad day for Slash Man.
Yeah, it was. But moving on to the Atlanta PTC. Unless you had anything else you wanted to add in, guys, about the circuit, other than congratulations, and I hope you guys hold another one. You know?
What I will say about the circuit, so Chris Smith, it's your fault that we did the circuit at all.
Oh, great.
We were running these MCS events that were really popular, really successful, and you guys had a format change up, which we didn't really do, and we weren't really looking to change anything because it's testing for us. We need to be able to test and get a meta together so that we can play and feel like we're going to be successful at Worlds and stuff like that. But regardless, like, I just wanted to thank you for kind of making the idea possible. And like, I spoke with the lab guys, and they were also hyped when we first announced it that they were just excited to like throw a plane ticket on the table. I wasn't even asking for that when I started like trying to organize this whole thing, and just like, guys, if we could just do some kind of great prize for the winner, whatever it is. And then Tommy, who was one of the lab managers, is like, well, what if we did a plane ticket to Worlds for the winner? I was like, if you guys want to put that kind of money on the table, that's awesome. Go for it. And that's sort of what it ended up as. So, I mean, it was very cool for them to get to do that. And I gotta thank you, man, because like, we wouldn't have even tried to do something on that scale if it wasn't for what we saw you do over the course of 6 months. So
you're welcome.
It was awesome.
Thanks.
How many events was the Atlanta circuit? It was like 5 or 6, right?
It was 6 events and a finals, so it was technically 7, but the finals was only top 8. So you know, it wasn't anything crazy.
I'm stealing that idea though. We're gonna do one in Rockford for a plane ticket to Worlds for next year. Yeah. So,
dude, plane ticket to Worlds, like you can't argue with that kind of price.
No, you can't. It's it's gonna be. Well, I guess I'm announcing it now because I haven't done it on Facebook yet, but. Yeah, we're going to hold one. It's going to start the month after so it's going to start like the week after Indianapolis PTC. So maybe the last Saturday in May, and then it's going to go one a month for 10 months, for 9 months. Month 10 will be finals for top 8, and then that gives us 2 months to plan out the plane ticket for whoever wins it. So it gives them like a 2-month window to buy their ticket. So
Definitely.
You know, so I'm hoping to pull in some out-of-state guys. So I'm calling you guys out from Indiana, Wisconsin, Omaha, maybe if you guys want to make the trek once a month or whatever. You know, Michigan. I'm pretty sure Phil and Mark would be happy to come down and beat our asses. So, you know,
they're definitely gonna come down and wreck face.
And then maybe we'll see the adopted Marylandian, if that's a word, Thomas Gordon. You know, Thomas Gordon may show up, you know, and scrub out.
Trip to do it like once a month.
Yeah.
Oh, you're saying Thomas.
Oh, I'm saying Thomas. You guys.
Thomas Gordon just shows up to things.
All he does is like travel every weekend.
Yeah.
And like just show up places.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So let's move on to the Atlanta PTC. So congratulations on that. I don't want to kind of rehash a lot of the things that you and Ryan talked about, but if you want to give like a general overview of like the entire event as a whole, how it went. We know you won, so you don't have to say that, but like anything that maybe you guys didn't touch on at all?
So
thoughts on having 5 different Spike 1s in top 8?
Yeah, that's I mean, I know we touched on that, but I think I love this PTC to death. Not because I won it, honestly, because it was the most interesting PTC to date. We've never seen anybody diversity fight as hard as the diversity was fought. And the fact that we literally diversified 3/4 of the top cuts, that tells you something about the metagame right now. That tells you something very honest and very sincere about what this game looks like at a high level. Because you get all of these Spike players and a Twinkle Murdoch and another Spike 2 all getting just chucked out the window. You're seeing, like, the 4 pillars of the meta was a real thing. Jet, not so much. Like, the Jet decks were cute. Mad Pro is better in my opinion. I beat up a Jet, and it was adorable because he couldn't draw cards because he had 7 actions in his hand and was like, I suck. But, like, it was incredible how true the rest of it was. Like, Spike 2 blows people up at random, but he's too inconsistent, I think, to win right now. Spike 1 literally just destroys all aggro decks and all mid-range decks. Twinkle Murdoch was destroying all mid-range and all control decks. So, like, it really did drive home just how overpowered some of the stuff has been out of Bebop. And I love Bebop. I love it to death. It's one of my favorite sets that's come out in a long time. It's made the game really interesting. But it has worked the shit out of the format, and I'm really interested to see how we move forward from that, because having that many spikes diversified just feels bad. And for nothing to happen after that, I'm real interested to see what this meta turns into. But that's kind of my take on metagame stuff. As far as the tournament goes, it was awesome. We played basically 6 and then 1 round of top 8, and then we all went out for drinks. We fit 35 people in this Mexican restaurant, and they hated our guts, but we had such a good time, and I mean, like, we just tip like motherfuckers when you're out there, and that's what you got to do. But it was a good time, definitely. So highly recommend Atlanta PTC, number 1, 44 people, get over here.
He's throwing it down on you there, Chris. You better rally the troops.
I'm thinking we may hit more than what we had last year in Rockford, but I'm not gonna. I don't want to talk any smack before it actually happens. So
adorable. How many people did you have last year, Chris Smith?
41.
Oh shoot! Okay, so you guys are actually you guys are big deals over there.
Yeah.
Damn. All right. Maybe I'll have to use my plane ticket to make it to Rockford. When is Rockford?
The weekend after July 4th.
Ballin'. Okay.
So if you need a place to stay, I got room. So I got room.
Now you're speaking my language.
Because
I can talk that.
So far,
I have a $300 plane ticket and a free place to stay.
Yep.
That sounds like a free PTC to me.
Yeah. So the only person that's confirmed to be here is Clint, is Church. So that's it.
Oh, nice.
Because Rob and Scott haven't punched their tickets yet, but I'm just assuming they're staying at my house anyways. So.
I mean, Thomas will show up too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
Be too loud.
Yep, as always.
Up.
And Kim will go get a hotel room because she can't stand you guys. So.
Damn.
But yeah, man, if you want to come out to Rockford, you're more than welcome to.
I'm interested. I'm absolutely interested. Sign me up. I'm there.
Okay.
We get for July 4th. Like, what the hell else is going on, man?
Absolutely nothing but the Rockford PTC. That's it. But
that's it.
From that, I guess you want to say the fallout from your PTC. We got your thoughts on the banning on Ryan's show, but I'm going to ask Rob his thoughts on it, and then if you want to touch in, you can. Rob, you already know my thoughts about Twinkle because it basically pushed one of my players out faster than he was going to quit, and then no one liked playing against that character in a casual standpoint because casual players I don't think are equipped to deal with her yet at that point yet. I would say because their tournament experience is low. They don't want to put that much. They may put effort into the game, but they don't want to put in that much effort. Like, they can deal with the Spike 1 because you get to still do stuff against Spike 1. You may fail a lot, but you still get to do stuff.
A lot.
But go ahead, Rob. Your thoughts on the banning of Twinkle Murdoch?
So for Twinkle, because I played Twinkle some just locally against Scott. That was a deck that I was working on as a possibility for Atlanta, and I knew there would be other copies as well. And I had 2 games against him where one game he built 2 Celestials on turn 1, and I won. I resolved the instant win on DD against him, I think, that game, in spite of that. And I had another game where he had 3 copies out by turn 2 or 3. And it took me a while, but I ended up finally being able to aggro him out and slip. He was playing like a 6-hander, so that was part of it. I mean, he was playing Tengu, the party Tengu man. But the thing is when I'm just sitting on a revoke every single turn, it's just oh, do you need stuff to go find your other attacks? Is that the whole point? Is your kind of a combo? Well, doesn't matter. And just seeing some of those things, I was like, man, the fact that he can have out multiple copies of what's arguably the best hate for what she's doing, and I'm still I can still take a game. It was rough. And for me, I always sort of thought that the problem, or at least the problem I would look at first, would have been the destruction distraction, just because I thought that was really kind of the rough part. The fact that you could get debuilt on 2, the fact that it had the instant win on it, which really forced you to sort of go, well, not only do I not want to take momentum because of your pump, I don't want to take any momentum because you might just kill me. I think it was if someone has 2 momentum and you have that, or if you have 2 copies or a way to get it back, because I was on water, I was running Getaway Fire, so I would combo. I would just play Destruction Distraction, combo, pick it back up, play it again, and that would be 4. And then you have 2 from Twinkle. So if they started the turn with 2 momentum and didn't have a way to get rid of any, I won. If I had that loop.
Gross.
So it was sort of one of those things where that was the card that I felt really gave the like negative play experiences. Like just that card sort of hung over the head where it's like if they drew it, you were in trouble. Mm-hmm. And if they didn't draw it, you still had to worry about them drawing it.
Yeah.
And I think I would have tried a format without that with her first. And if it turned out that I think she would have still been playable. I don't think she would have been like incredible. I think she would have been decent. I think that negation is still really real. But I can't say that I disagree with what they did. And I think part of it too is sort of what we talked about with like anyone who went out and like spent money to get like destruction distraction, like they don't want that card banned after like a month or two. Yeah. So you can argue that it's pretty unplayable now without having Twinkle, but it's still got stats.
Yeah.
And the thing is like it's still going to be live against, you know, somebody that's like, oh, I took 2 momentum. Or I took 1 and you have a way to force another one. So it's more just like you have to actually work hard to use it now. But, you know, I don't think it's unplayable.
I think about that is that now that if you do play Double D in a deck, like with the Tengu Man, or even like with Fae, where you can loop it with Getaway Fire, you're playing other Twinkle cards in it to necessitate not maybe the win con, but at least the D build, and then maybe work your way to it. So really, it still keeps a lot of her card pool alive, other than the fact that they may make a new one of her, a 2-dot, and pass her out as a promo or whatever.
Who knows?
But
maybe,
you know. But my big thing about it is that now she's gone, you don't have to have all this ancillary momentum dump.
Yeah.
So that you were able to now maybe tech more for the early whatever Spike 1 bullshit is. So maybe Spike 1 won't... He's still really fantastic. Don't get me wrong. He is still maybe the best 7-hander in the game currently, just because stats-wise only. And he may not be that overbearing because you're able to... You don't have to worry about getting blown up with 8 momentum. I don't know. It's just really interesting to see where...
pretty overbearing.
Oh, it's just really interesting to see where the meta's going to take us now.
It does open tech slots, and so here's one of the things. So one of the things is like 2 decks, and I haven't built them yet, but they were decks that I sort of said that I would build if Twinkle got banned, which she has now. One of them was like Metal Man. I think that Twinkle just made his life awful because of the way he works. Like he's never going to take momentum because if his attacks hit, he's going to build them. So it's like if you're forced to run momentum dumps in Metal Man, like those are dead cards in every other matchup. And the thing is, even if you have a tournament, it's like 40-some people, and you have like 2 or 3 Twinkles show up, like you might never play one.
Yeah.
But if you play one in tops and you don't have momentum dumps, you're going to lose.
Yeah.
So, you know, you're talking like, what am I going to do? Dedicate like my entire sideboard to like, oh, I hope I don't play Twinkle. Oh, I did. I need to get 8 momentum dumps in here. Like,
he still gets capped by Bang though.
Yes, he does.
He does.
Oh yeah,
he does.
Yeah.
But right, and even then, like if you're running like Transform, like that's another card where it's like if they're playing Twinkle, and you're like, I'll try to transform, and they're like,
nope,
good job.
It was the same thing with spiders, not spiders and dragons, apples. Same thing with apples too. It's like, well, do I want to play apples or not? Because I'm losing a card. You know,
I mean, it's card to card now, Chris.
Yeah,
yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And I mean, caught red-handed stops those things too. But like caught red-handed, like is something they have to find, they have to build, and you know you can sort of see it and be like, all right, you have that. Like, I have to figure out a way to deal with it.
Yep.
Whereas like when they start with Twinkle and that's just their character, and you're like, and then you can't even like bait it out by burning something else because they have it again the next turn, every turn.
Yeah.
And the other deck was Felicia, because she was like another one where it's like she wants momentum, and like we said, it's like if you have 2 or 3 momentum, and she always wants 2, so like if you have 2 or 3 or something like that, like you're so close to like monkey range so fast, so like she had that same sort of thing of just like living on the edge of losing at any point.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty interested in trying to like a water build of her, because I think, the air one is okay. I mean, those kicks are about to cycle, probably after Worlds. And looking at some of the new stuff, especially for like Spike, Faye, they got some pretty good water stuff like kicks, punches, stuff like that I think can enhance her and sort of give her life on a different symbol. And that was something I wanted to sort of mess with and just was not worth it when you might run into Twinkle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the thing is like, even then right now, just like talking about like 2 decks where it's like, hey, like Twinkle's gone, I might think about playing these now. So
yeah,
I'm not saying it's like, I think it's a fine ban, and she like Keenan said, like, I mean, she was just warping the format. I think really the people I've talked to have sort of said that the other big ones are Spike 1, obviously, Bang, and Cats. And those seem to be like the 3 cards that are just really sort of stand out, like head and shoulders above everything else. I mean, there's a lot of really good stuff. Like, there's plenty of other things that, and who knows, maybe you get rid of those and you see these other stuff. You're like, how did we miss that?
Yeah.
And it's the reason why is because of these other cards. And I guess I was a little disappointed that it was just Twinkle, but I mean, something's better than nothing, I guess. So, I guess we'll just sort of have to see how it goes from here, and maybe there will be more changes before Worlds, and maybe there will be some changes after Worlds.
Yeah.
There were certainly some changes after Worlds last year. So,
do you now back on the Spike 1 train thing? Do you guys think that Worlds is going to be like how we had Zoe last year? Well, there's just going to be people playing them just to get them banned.
There are plenty of excuses to play that character as a sandbag right now. Like, you can sandbag so much into him. So I'm very interested to see what the top cuts turns out to be. Because if your character is a 7-hander with death, life, or water, you have a lot of tools to play with. You have Yamato Man, you have off of water, you have Vega off of death, you have off of life like Athena or Sai or whatever. Because I know Tam was running that.
I mean, Sai has death too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So there's a million ways to play that character right now, and even if you're just playing a different character to dodge diversity, you set into Spike 1. It's still a Spike 1 deck, and I think we're gonna see a lot of that. We're also gonna see a lot of characters that are kind of teched to beat that mid-range control game that he plays. Because I think that he gets weak, like he gets weaker as the game goes on.
Yeah.
So as long as you can play like a long game that has good deadlock pieces and good survivability against Swimming Bird, which is still a mid even though it's 5 speed, like you can probably just play a deck that beats him and do better in this format than playing him in general. So I'm interested to see how that works, because he's going to keep making aggro decks suck. Like, he's going to still make Spike 2 look like trash. But once he's gone and dealt with, we'll see how that plays out. But until then, he's going to be that wall, and then any control deck that can go up against him may be able to push him over and just do stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you saw that even in Tops where he lost to the Woodman. I did hear that the one game, like, the Woodman was down to sort of like single digits, and if all he had to do was draw a copy of like Fallen Angels, and he would have won, or at least the one game. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing is Woodman was just playing like every single like good deadlock card, just about. So
it's a real thing.
But no cool and focused though. But no cool and focused.
So,
we all make mistakes.
So with that, so your deck not counting your deck. Out of the other 7 decks that were in Tops, what deck do you see yourself maybe picking up and playing, maybe tweaking a bit? Do you see yourself playing maybe like the Spike 2? I know you said Ashley plays Spike 2, so you may not pick that up, but do you see yourself playing anything else other than just Mad Pro out of the top 8? Well, Twinkle doesn't count because she's banned now, so.
So I really liked the Eta 9. Less like. I never remembered seeing Les at a tournament, and I found out that he actually played like way back in the day. We were talking about games. He was bringing up stuff like Yoga Roundhouse Kick and stuff, and I was like, "Whoa, this is like blast from the past, super old UFS." So the fact that he came back built an Ed and Ein deck, and then became the spike killer of the tournament because he was just sitting at top tables gatekeeping every spike that happened to be up there at the time. Like, that was incredible. I would love to build that Ed and Ein deck and sort of see what the nuances are. Maybe there'd be stuff I'd change. Maybe I wouldn't change anything. It just sort of depends. But like, I thought that the deck was cool as all hell. Also, Ben Shoemaker ran a Yamato Man deck with no Cowboy Bebop cards in it, and if that
Yellow
deck
Devil, right?
Yellow Devil.
top cuts,
Yeah.
you gotta give some props to the man. So I would build that. I would build that 100%. Like, that sounds awesome.
He had a little help. He had a little help along the way.
He had a little help.
You know?
But yeah, that's probably the one that I would take away.
Okay, Rob, do you have a deck from Topps?
I guess I sort of actually have a bit of a question for Keenan.
Okay.
I mean, you've been, I think, probably out of anyone that I've interacted with, easily the highest on Coffee Samba since you saw that card. Like, I know that you were crazy about that card, and other people were just like, you know, like, there's some other good, like, one checks and whatever, like, and obviously you were right. But I guess, like, do you have any sort of advice for, like, newer players, like, running, like, bad checks?
Yes.
And because is there a way that you, because I know, like, I looked at your deck, I don't think you ran any 3-diff foundations. You ran, like, you didn't run as many zeros as I might have thought. I think you ran about 6. But it was also, I think you only ran, 10 2-costs, and 4 of them were the Folkland or Folktale, whatever. The one about Jet, where you can pitch 3 and pull it down. So after turn 1, I mean, you can just pull that down, like, for free. So it's like kind of a 2-cost, but only on turn 1. After that, you just sort of get it whenever.
Yeah.
So I mean, I could definitely tell, like, looking at your foundations, that you had really pushed, like, the low diffs, and I assumed it was for the 1 checks to get that early build.
Yep.
So, like, I guess beyond just saying, like, oh, play a bunch of spams, I mean, is there sort of another way that you would sort of go about playing it, or building? Like, how do you decide, like, how many you can get away with, and then how much you want to mitigate it?
So I think that if you're going into a tournament as a 7-hand size character playing 4 1-checks in your deck, you have to play honest to your checks. I have been screwed too many times, even playing 2 checks trying to play a 3 difficulty foundation on turn 1. If I put 2 checks in a deck, I'm going to play maybe like 1 or 2 3-diff foundations at maximum, because on turn 1 I'm going to draw it. I'm going to be like, I can do this, and then I'm going to fail it, and I'm going to be like, I just lost the game. So it's really a case of just being as honest as possible and understanding, like, your deck is there to be your ally, but when it's your enemy, man, it's just gonna screw everything. So if you're gonna play 1-checks and you're gonna play them in abundance, what you're gonna want to do is put enough 0 diffs in your deck that you have a really good odds of drawing them on 1. I didn't play that many because Fire doesn't have that many great 0 diffs.
Yeah.
And then play definitely enough 1 diffs so that on turn 1 you can try to go 1, 0, 1. And almost guarantee you get a 3 build. And then anything else after that is where you play your 2. And that's when you're trying to check your 5 off the top to luck sack it. So every single time I had to go first, I would always go 1, 0, 1 if I could, or 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and then 2 at the end. Because that 2 difficulty was never worth it, ever. And when you fail that check, it just sets you up for complete failure. I actually learned this from Matt Coles. Way back in the day when I won my first card playing Legacy, he was playing Blazing Cadenza in his deck as like a 4-of, and I saw this man go like, I'm going to build a 1, I'm going to build a 0, and I'm going to build a 1, and I was like, that is genius, because I have lost so many tournaments to that I would definitely recommend find a symbol with good spam, or just find the best spam in any symbol, because there's 10 sets legal, so there's a lot of spam to choose from. So definitely narrow down what you can use and what you can't use, and then build it up from there. And if you gotta play those 1-checks, make sure that the spam you're playing is relevant, but you're not trying to fit all these 2 dicks in there, because your edge is gonna end up screwing yourself at the end of the day.
Yeah, I as a kind of like a segue into about my Ava 2 deck. I play I play a 93 card deck, so my numbers are a little skewed. So I have like 10 zeros in there, I believe, and I don't remember. My guys asked me last night. I think I had like 24 spam cards.
I mean, you're on evil.
I'm
right,
on
Chris?
evil, yeah.
This thing is, I mean, like, right, something like Revoke is so good for that, because, like, right, you just play that on, like, a 0, then you play a 1 diff, then you play a 0 diff, and, like...
I checked...
You play a Fallen Angel, so you look at the top part of your deck, and you're like, I want that there.
That card's nuts. Funny thing, though, about the Revoke play, I checked a 1 on a Revoke twice last night, so I was just like, sweet. I was like, yeah! And then I promptly built the Mad Pro 1/5 remove for -1 speed, and Coffee Samba was live for the rest of the game. So that was fantastic, boys. It was great.
The actual dream.
Yeah, I currently only play 3 Samba in my deck, 'cause I only own 3, but I'm going to be moving to 4 for Worlds, because there's no reason not to run 4, because that card is fucking stupid. There would be times where my first enhance on that would be, well, I'm going to draw 2 cards, guys, so you can draw 2 cards. And then they look at their hand, and I go, you got an enhance? And they're like, pass. And then I go, well, I'll give it stun X, whatever. And then poor Trip Pants goes, well, I'll pass, because he was playing Order Cammy last night, and I'm just like, stun 7, and yeah. He did block Guile's face. He did use Guile's face at least twice, but it didn't help him, though, because I was still throwing, I know you talked about in Ryan's show about ISSP Execution being like a lower card. I run it in mine, and it's a fantastic opener for her, because it's a 5 mid 9. Yeah, it's a 5 mid 9, and when they're stunned, stun 2, and then say they only have 1 foundation out or 2 on turn 2, they're not blocking that shit. They're taking 9 damage.
They're taking 9.
And then also, like, it can also fish out cats later in a game. We never got to deadlock it all, but it could fish out cats or another ISSP. But I wanted to, this OP season, I should say, one of my goals was, actually the whole year, was I want to play more 7-handers. Because I'm traditionally a 6 hand size character player, because I don't feel comfortable getting blown up on 2 all the time. But after a post from the last 2 weeks where I was on the edge of quitting and being really negative about the game, and things have been picked up ever since, because I watched the Atlanta stream and I got really excited and hyped, and then the ban happened and it made me even happier. And we're back, boys. So, and I wanted to play a symbol. Is another thing too. Is I want to play a symbol I haven't played a lot, and I'm usually a predominant life, death character. I usually play those characters, the life and death.
You like your spiders and dragons?
I could say yes, I do. I do love my spiders and dragons. Yeah. But evil has been a symbol that I haven't really touched on. Like, I played an evil Vega that was a flash, and it wasn't very fun, and it was kind of boring. But this deck, boys, this Ava 2 deck, Ava is so much fun. And she's really a sneaky more than 7 hand size, because like with like a good combo is with like Plant Barrier or you Merciless Master, and you just go, well, I'm going to stack this attack. I will eat some damage and I'll draw it. So I'm going to hit you.
You want to know the grossest combo with that? I know you're running Coffee Samba.
Yeah.
Have you considered our Lord and Savior Guardian Slasher?
Oh, no.
When you block with your Plant Barrier, and then you stack your Guardian Slasher on top of your deck, and draw that shit, and then reversal them with it, they are not only sad, they are demoralized, because you just outplayed the shit out of that person. Highly recommend.
Ooh. That actually sounds a lot of fun. This is also the first deck I've ever built with, like, other than a Tengu Man deck, with 1-checks, because I usually don't even play. I usually go 2s. 2s are fine. 1s are a little touchy for me because I've had a really bad history with 1-checks. So, but I'm really excited because, like you said, I've set up the build to where I can go 1, 0, 1, 2. And playing a 90-something card deck, on average, I'm going to build 4 every turn. On average. There's very rarely that I will end up checking a 3 or a 1 or less, you know. The deck doesn't play many 4 diffs. It does play 4 demanding submissions for you other Coffee Samba players. I got my tech for you.
But apparently he doesn't know that he can stop reversal with that.
I was just leading into that. Yeah, I know, I'm so bad. Because, like, Nathan kept spregoing me last night, and I'm just like, well, I guess I can't stop it. But then but a good thing is, though,
you can't stop Spregio because he's not playing with the reversal keyword.
Yeah.
Unless you blocked with something else.
No.
Oh.
Because it's not
So,
considered.
like-
Yeah, you can play it as a reversal. So Spregio. So then I did play it right then. So I can't stop Spregio. But a really good combo with Coffee Samba is eliminating the van. Because you get all those extra cards, and then you just start
eliminating the van and Ava is a good
Yeah,
combo.
you just start-
You
just start dumping damage on people or negating. Like I Coffee Samba'd, he blocked with Spregio. He had no damage pump on board. I go discard a card for -2 damage, and he looks at me and he gives me this face like, "You're a dick." But like seriously, like the evil symbol's where it's going to be at, guys. Like this symbol, like I've never really played, like looked into it like this, and
It's awesome.
I'm super excited for it, man.
There are tricks on tricks you get to do right now.
yeah.
I love that symbol.
And then I get to play my favorite platinum card, Plant Barrier, so that's fantastic. So I don't need momentum normally because I just stun 8 people and just dump speed and damage. Oh,
are you playing time slow too? Or
yes, I am. No, I'm playing
Oh.
time slow too. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That card is.
I was originally going to go Plant Man with this because I was talking to Church about it, and then me and him started talking about the deck, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm gonna try a Plant Man deck," and he's like, "Dude, it's so much fun." And I'm like, "Well, I don't want to have to fight my teammate for Worlds for diversity. I'll just go Ava because she gets. I like Ava more because she gets guaranteed speed on cats. It's not.
Truth.
It's not like, well, hopefully I have 2 momentum going into my second and third attack. You know, maybe if Evil had Living with Determination again, you know, you get snap momentum whenever you want it. Maybe Plant Man would be.
Plant Man, you do get his foundation.
Yes, you do.
You snap momentum.
You do.
So
yes, you do.
I actually am building Plant Man. That's one of my decks that I'm considering for Worlds.
Yeah.
And I definitely have Coffee Samba and Guardian Slasher in it right now.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
like, that guy runs one checks like nobody's business, and I love him to death.
Yeah, I moved to Ava because of that, the speed and damage, and then she gets to card draw on defense. It's just the plays for days. You get to do crazy shit with her, and it's awesome. It's awesome.
Yeah, if anybody ever asks you, like, is it okay to run an 80-card deck? You're just like, just put Ava on top of it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
This is what you want right now.
No worries.
Yeah. Plays for days.
It did start as a 74-card deck. Then I'm like, I need more shit in there. So I just started piling more crap. I just like, yeah, let's do it. I get to play a bunch of 4-ofs. I get to play a bunch of 2-ofs. I don't have any. My foundations have no 1-ofs, man. No 1-ofs in this deck. So it is not.
Why would you waste your time?
Yeah, exactly. It is not a Garrett Brett style deck. There are no 1-ofs in this deck. It's all. And then I got 4 homemade explosives, and I'm playing a really nice card, Jealousy and Fake, for those big old multiples, or say like someone throws a giant net launcher at me, I just go, no damage, you burn 2, cool, have fun. You know,
depends. You still gotta block it.
I know, still gotta block it. I know.
In the land of all the speed.
I know.
You still need to block it.
Yeah.
All the speed, all the stun.
Oh, I know, but still though, like that's what demanding submission's in there for. So if they try to stun 6 me or something like that. It's like if you get enough, it's like if you go into deadlock with this deck, in my opinion, is that you build demanding submissions, and and it's like you're daring them to stun deadlock you. You're daring them to do it.
Oh man, I'm just having flashbacks to when I was playing Scott, and he had out 2 demanding submission.
Yeah.
And he was deadlocked, and I played a Hellgate Executioner, and I said, if you want to play any R's, you're gonna burn for 4.
You both burn for 4.
And I was like, I'll stun you for 4. Do you want to pop that? And he was just like, well, I don't want stun 4, so I guess I'll pop 1. And we both burn. I was like, mm-hmm. Do you want to pop the other one too? I was like,
should have done.
And then he tried to gain life off of Garrett too. And I was like, do you really want to just lose 3? And he's like, no, I forgot. That's a great card. I wish I had a block.
Oh, I think it's worth the 2/4 non-block though, and you know it's one of those cards.
No, I'm talking about Hellgate.
Oh, Hellgate. Oh, Hellgate. I wish Hellgate had a block because it'd be more playable in my eyes. Yes. So moving on, Rob, are you doing anything locally, building for you and Scott? I know you guys are usually
not a ton right now. Yeah. I mean, I have a couple decks, like I said, that I'd like to make, especially now that the meta's opened at least a little bit.
Yep.
But it's still tough. I mean, You know, the last two events have both been like over 50% bebop.
Yeah.
And it's sort of tiring at sometimes. Like, you know, it's like, if I don't really want to play a bebop character, like, it gets a little dicey sometimes. Start looking at stuff and you're like, ooh, man. Well, you can always ride diversity though, right?
Mm-hmm.
All you gotta do is not lose. You can win diversity. All I'm saying.
Yep. Well, what did you say? What you're saying, Keenan?
All I gotta do is not lose.
All you gotta do is not lose. That's all you gotta do is not lose.
My character, flavor text. Yep. Absolutely. I kept telling myself that between rounds. Came true. It worked out.
Okay, so moving on to you, Keenan. Outside of the tournament, what are you building for fun? Do you have anything in the works other than your Plant Man?
I mean, Plant Man is a big one. I'm really enjoying that. It may end up being a team deck. We'll see how that works out. Beyond that, like I just keep like making these lists when I'm at work, just kind of like bored out of my mind. One of them is a vicious list off of Earth that doesn't play any of his support. The objective just being like get a bunch of good deadlock stuff up there and just have a character with 31 life who can sit there and gain 3 off eliminated the van all day. And so you just kind of draw 2 cards off with one attack and then you just stay there and just stay alive for forever. And then once they've gotten to 11 cards, you go Woodman's Leaf Shield, Missile Launcher, and they die. So that's an idea. Beyond that, I mean, I really like Mega Man 2 right now. I think he's like being able to block Woodman's Leaf Shield and then reversal and stun them with phase cover fire and then discard a card and be like, if you don't block this, your life is over, but it doesn't matter because you can't attack me anymore anyways because all your shit gets -2 damage. That feels really good. Like there's a lot of stuff that I'm just like building at work just while I'm like I'm between tickets. This is fine. So I mean it's I feel like there's still a lot to this meta, and there are a lot of bebop characters that you have to play all the bebop characters obviously, but I think there are still like a good 15 characters that can still kind of play alongside that. So I want to kind of explore those for now, and then see if I can get into those on my team because that makes it so that people aren't really ready for that stuff once it comes up.
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. Got anything? Rob?
I was gonna say, what cards would you say, maybe out of Bebop or just in general, like what cards would you say that people should be playing that they aren't?
Bang, 100%. If you're not playing Bang, you're not paying attention to the metagame. Olorophobia is awesome. Coffee Samba is awesome. So, I mean, I played what I wanted to play because I like these cards. I want to see more decks playing Let's Party. I haven't seen a single one do well yet, I don't think, which is ridiculous. That card gets you any card in your deck, including more copies of itself that you then play to get more copies of itself. So that seems ridiculous to me. I mean, Bebop is such an open set. Just the game feels pretty like it's open in a sense. But yeah, I really like just put Coffee Samba in all of your decks, guys. Like it's not hard. It's 4 copies. It's like $8.50. It's not expensive. It's the cheapest ultra you can buy. That's an attack that's any good, and it'll change your life. So this has been your Coffee Samba PSA, and please support Coffee Samba for President 2018.
I think we got our title for the episode, boys. Coffee Samba PSA. I think we got our title. Anything else to? We're about close to 50 minutes to an hour. Anything else you want to chat about, Robert? That maybe I didn't bring up that we maybe talked about in pre-production.
I don't think so.
I know that there's what's coming up next. Vancouver PTC.
Oh, you know what I do want to see at Vancouver?
What?
I want to see if Jay Ueda is still playing.
He is.
Is he?
Yeah,
okay.
He's posted on that the NA, the North American thing, asking about Spike 1, I guess, or something like that. So maybe I think he's gonna do the Spike 1 challenge, I guess. So we'll see how it is. Oh, update on challenges. Ben Lambright took Asimov and Katarina to the Atlanta PTC, did not top, but he gets a copy of Bang.
For bringing it to the tournament.
Because the goal was if you topped, you get a free turbo box. If you won, you get the turbo box and Bang. But if you didn't top, you get a copy of Bang. So
if Bang gets banned, it's a crappy challenge, but at least Asimov and Katarina can win.
Exactly. The issue is, he said, though, he may not want the bang because he got banged every game because they are so bangable.
They are super bangable.
Yes, they are. Yes. Yeah.
Was he the one that played Scott and like got banged 3 turns in a row?
Yes, I think so. Yes.
Yeah. That sounds like a Ben Lambright story I've heard multiple times already. So yeah.
I felt bad for him. He was there representing the Midwest, the Northern Midwest, because we've adopted him into our play group. So
he's also representing Atlanta. So honestly, like I feel like Ben Lambright is the connection that brings us all together.
There we go. So I know in Vancouver, I know it's a smaller group, so it may not have it like a 44-person turnout. Do you remember how many they had last year? Was it in the teens last year?
I think it was like low 20s. I'm pretty sure.
So I'm hopefully they're gonna have more. Hopefully, I don't know how far Calgary is away from that, so. I don't know distance.
Not another Guelph though.
No, not.
Sad.
I don't think it's going to be another Guelph. I know Shane's going up there for his first time into Canada, which is kind of weird because I don't know. I thought he's been up there before, but I guess they just send Ryan Pham north of the border. I guess most of the time. So, but then after that's Lubbock, I believe, right? Mm-hmm. Texas. So and that's I think that will be the final curtain call for PTCs before Worlds, I believe.
Yep.
And then, but. The weird thing is about these next 2 PTCs is that I don't know if you'll get an accurate representation of what the World's meta will be because Atlanta usually is, since you guys have moved it pre-Worlds, I think the last 2 years it's been pre-Worlds, is really shows what the meta is. I know Rob debuted Zoe last year, and no one had really played her like he had her built.
She's only been legal for 1 tournament before that.
I know that, but still though. But same thing with the Bebop.
Silly Hillman playing fair Zoe. What are you doing?
Silly man. But like I wouldn't be surprised if we see I know someone asked in the North American thing about how many Spike 1s are we going to see at Worlds, and I wouldn't be surprised if at least 10 to 15% of the field is Spike 1s. Honestly. Given the Zoe comparison, cause,
I mean that might be high, but I mean I wouldn't be surprised to see like 10 to 15 that are fronting it. But I think, like Keenan said, I think there's going to be a whole bunch of decks that are playing a character and then they decide
into him. Yeah, I think so. I think so too. So that may get us to that 15 percentile then of amounts of Spike 1s. So
I definitely think with the amount of people sandbagging, we're going to hit 15%.
Yeah.
I'm just really concerned that because he's a starter deck character, there's going to be nothing done about him for longer than needs to be.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. I know Jasko moved really fast in the Sprinkle ban. They typically don't move that fast on bans.
They really don't.
But that gave me some faith that they might, especially like depending on how well it affects the World's meta. But more than likely, here's what's going to happen. Here's my prediction. We're going to have a bunch of spikes top, but at the same time, Mortal Kombat's going to come out that same weekend. And people are going to open all these Mortal Kombat packs and see a card that's like commit all like Mayfell's Assault, but without a 2 momentum cost, or like destroy 5 of your opponent's face down foundations or something ridiculous. And people are going to be like, okay, these spikes tolerable. And then we're going to go to the next tournament. He's going to win everything, and then he's going to get banned. So we're gonna see the answers come. They're not going to be good enough. Then we're going to get the ban. That's my prediction here. Spike 1 will be banned after Rockford 2018.
Ooh.
That's it. That's the prediction.
Do you think there's no chance of? I know they're not heavy on errataing, but they could errata him to have a lower.
I would literally just errata him to 18 vitality.
Yeah,
and call it a day.
I think that would be fine. I think he's what, a 25 health character instead of a 30 health character.
Well, I mean that's like the big thing is like what Keenan was saying about Yamato is he's like, man, playing this like 19 vitality character going second, like it's pretty scary.
Yep.
Like Spike has speed reduction, so he's going to get 1 block off. And then he has damage reduction. So that's the thing is like the whole sort of scary part about playing like a 7-hander is that you might just get blown up on like turn 3 or 4 before like turn 2 or 3 before you get a chance to really like set up your defense. And because Spike has that extra like, I mean, so what? He's 24, so he guaranteed to have like an extra 4 and really like an extra 5 or 6 over like other characters. and then he has the damage reduction on top of it. So really, like, he can take like 1 to 2 more unblocked attacks than like any other 7-hander and not die. And like that's one of the reasons that he is so above and beyond so many other things is just because of that ability alone. I mean, if he was like if he was like a 718, 719, even a 720, like I just don't think I don't think he would get played as often, and I definitely don't think that he would have like the sort of absurd win rate that he does.
What's the percentage right now? Like 92?
I mean, against the non-mirror, it's something like 36-3 or 37-3.
Yeah,
and like that's not like
ridiculous.
A huge sample, if you will, but that's still just like through 2 tournaments.
That's
like
2 tournaments that were sizable for UFS.
It was,
so.
yeah. I mean, it was 2 tournaments, like 8 players combined. Like I'm not sure exactly what the total is. You know, it's something like 40. I think it's like 46-4 or something like that. But the thing is like a bunch of those are mirrors. Like a lot of the losses were to other spikes. All the draws were spike mirrors. So I mean, yeah, it's kind of one of those things where his numbers are insane, and maybe a little bit of that is just the fact that people weren't playing certain characters because of Twinkle. You know, maybe there were some decks that like could deal with Spike a little better that people were like scared to play, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see at the next couple tournaments, and we'll definitely see at Worlds. I'm curious for Worlds to see the percentage of the field that's running a Bebop character, because Vegas and Atlanta have both been 50% or higher. Vegas was 20 out of 40, and Atlanta was 24 out of 44, and that blows my mind. I mean,
we had 2 in Top Cuts though. We had 2 nons, not non-Bebop. So
yeah.
I mean, it was power pick the set. You can't argue with that. But it was also a refreshing like splash of water on the face as opposed to Street Fighter, which was just kind of like, this is sad, and Blood Omen that was like Zoe is good, and
See, but like Blood Omen actually, like when like we had a guy that was asking about like new players, and he wanted to give them like spams, like he wanted to give them like staple cards that were common or uncommon for like various symbols, and we started like looking back, and like Blood Omen has some really good and really meta relevant, especially foundations. And I think that they just got hosed because, like, the characters were not good. Like, Zoe was unbelievable, and everybody else just sucks.
Terrible.
Like, Vincent had that one moment in the sun where Garrett Brett just willed him to, like, an unbelievable record in the UK. And that deck was sick. Like, I played against it twice. I kind of thought, I was like, man, like, I bet... Like, there's some cool stuff in Bebop that it got. I bet you it could do some pretty... I mean, I sent Chris, like, the list that using Tech Sphere and, Getaway Fire?
Yeah.
Yeah!
It goes infinite to just mill them out. But the problem is, I mean, Twinkle's gone, so that's fine. But he gets banged hard.
Yep.
And that's just kind of thing. Is you're like, yeah, I'm doing this thing, and they play one card, and you go... Well, that's kind of a metal staple, and I expect to see that in a lot of decks, especially in tops. So that deck's dead in the water.
Yep.
But
cool. Yeah, that deck was fun to play though for Turbo. Didn't work really. The thing is though, it went off once in Turbo, and it was fantastic. Then it didn't do it anymore.
Turbo because you can't run more than 40. That's the thing. Is like half of the wins is the fact that like you can run like 80 cards while they're running like 60.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just outmath them.
You plan B them.
You plan B is the plan A in that deck.
Yeah, you just plan B them on like turn 3. It's awesome, and it takes so long.
Oh yes, it does. Yes, like it's
like I'm gonna sit here and just make all the checks. Just let me know if you have anything you want to do.
Yep. Now with that thought, say like on the bang thought, since we have a few more minutes, the going into teams for Worlds, do you honestly think teams will have 2 bang decks and then one deck that isn't really affected by bang, so they can just get paired into, not like a sacrificial lamb, but like obviously you're not going to have Stone Man on your team because Stone Man just loses hard to bang. But, I can really see a Spike 1, Spike 2, and X as teams. I really can. Not saying that that's what our team makeup is, but now that Twinkle's gone, the whole format's open. So I'm thinking about running Ava through both events personally because I just want to have fun that weekend, and I just gonna drink beer and get hammered and just blow up people with coffee samba. So that's what I'm gonna do.
I could definitely see the teams being a little bit like that. The Nats, the year Napalm Man was legal.
Yeah.
Where basically every team was like, we have a Napalm Man, and then what was it? It was probably like Turbo Man or something.
Oh, Ryu 2?
X.
Yeah.
It's pretty much like there were like 1 or 2 decks that were just like spoken for,
Mm-hmm.
and then it was just like, and whatever.
Yeah.
Like the mix up.
Yep.
I could see like Spike 1 being on almost every team.
Yeah, me too.
He's that good.
Yeah, he is that good.
Now the question is, why would you go 4-bang when you go 3-3-2?
We did this.
Symbols.
Yes,
that's true.
That's true. We did that. I did that once.
Are real easy.
It was 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when me, Dan, and Corey teamed. We were all running symbols that could play caught red-handed. So I was the twofer in the caught red-handeds, and Rodney Church and Brian Harris were staying in our room, and they knew that. So I got paired into La Bamba. And I got my shit pushed in because he's like, the only reason why I played you is because you only have 2 caught red-handeds. I don't want to play the other guys because they have 3, and you have less chance. I was playing a 6-hander, so I was never going to draw them. So, but yeah, you don't. I think if you can go 4 and 4 and then play a deck that doesn't have that symbol, I think you guarantee yourself 2 wins easier than spreading it out. You want to go for the 2 wins guaranteed. And then if your third person gets that win when someone else doesn't, I think that's probably maybe the way to go. Maybe, I don't know. Yeah. I can't wait to talk team strategy as we get closer to Stinking World. This is gonna be so much fun. I love teams. Teams is the best. Teams is a great format.
Teams is a great format, 100%. I can't wait. I do think that there's gonna be teams that are all in on like double bang strats, and then the teams that are like, I'm just going to play characters that don't matter that much, and then just play decks that speak for themselves because they get to play Coffee Samba and other one-checks that are really strong and Missile Launcher and stuff like that, where it's like, you played Bang, so that's just a card out of your hand so I can just murder you more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shit happens there.
Oh, definitely. Plus, there's a lot I wouldn't say a lot, but there is action hate, and there's always Revoke. So, like, your third deck that doesn't play Bang, it could be a Revoke. It could have, like, a Revoke or some type of E-hate, I guess. Or
4 copies of Reclaiming What's Ours.
Yeah, there you go.
It's really good.
Yeah.
Like, you're going to play a 4-hander or a 5-hander right now. You're going to play that card.
Yeah.
Don't get banged. Don't do it.
Yeah. That also,
baby.
That could also be a really good title for the episode. Don't get banged, baby.
Don't get banged.
But okay, so we're about an hour, so I think it's a pretty good stopping point. So, any final thoughts, Keenan, at all for just the meta in general? Or I think you said, unless you think you've covered everything. So
yeah, I mean, I feel like I covered anything.
Don't get banged and buy all the coffee Sambas.
Yeah, there you go. That's pretty much it. Yep, there you go.
Keep printing one-checks that are relevant. I will play them. I love them to death. And you guys made a good one on Coffee Samba. And stop trying to print control characters because every single time you do, it gets banned.
Yeah. Vespera, rest in peace.
Vespera, Dimitri.
Yep. Twinkle. Rob, any closing thoughts? Anything?
I mean, I'm happy that there was a ban.
Yep.
I hope that they said that there were some other things I guess that were under consideration when they looked. They said it was like Twinkle, DD, and Cats. So I hope that Spike and Bang are both on sort of like the secret list.
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Okay.
I think we're really close. I think that I actually really did enjoy the meta pre-Bebop. Even with the Street Fighter being like a little weak, I thought that there were like a lot of decks that were playable, and I thought that there were some others that were sort of like coming up a bit that people were putting work on and were sort of starting to flourish, and a lot of them got punched. And I think that thing is, the more I look at the format, the more I think that there's we're just a couple cards away from being maybe not totally back there, but that's fine because there was a lot of weak cards. But I think we're very, very close to being into like a very open format again, and I hope we can get there.
Sure,
so.
that sounds good.
I agree with everything you just said.
All right, guys, so we'll stop the episode once I can. There it is. Quit. Yeah, we're done. We're done.